So the offensive line.
Okay.
Offensive line. So let me preface the let me say this. Do you think we're going to keep 8 or 9? And then who do you think those 8 or 9 will be, Eric?
Yeah, um, I think we'll probably take 8. I think.
Okay.
I'm looking at Icky, Lewis, Corbett, Hunt, and Moden. No surprises there.
Right.
Ricky Lee, I think, has played well. Zavala, there's been positive chat about that. We'll take Christensen, and then I think probably Andrew Rame as well. Just from a center standpoint, I thought he played relatively well. And there was good chatter about him afterwards. Uh, I don't know, but I can also see taking an extra one if we need to, just from an insurance perspective as well. But that's what I'm going with initially.
All right, it's the
So,
guy's name. Since we're talking about the guy's name was Tyler Gaffney. He was drafted out of Stanford. We
oh
drafted him in
yeah,
20.
Tyler
We
Gaffney,
drafted we
Yeah,
drafted him in
big guy.
24. We drafted him in 2014.
Yeah.
He got hurt. He got hurt during FanFest, if I remember correctly. He got hurt during FanFest. They wanted to go through
Right.
waivers, put him in IR, and then the Patriots picked him up, and the Patriots won the Super Bowl that year in 2014. So he ended up getting the ring when it was all said and
gotcha.
done. All right, so I'm done.
Okay. I appreciate that, Dave. Hey, Eric, but outside of the 5 starters, who would be the 3 or 4 that you would select?
Yeah, I'm going to take. I'm going with Ricky Lee. I'm going with Zavala. I'm going with Christensen. And then if we end up taking a ninth one, I think it's going to be Andrew Rame. I wouldn't be upset if we took that, or if we took him.
Okay.
Okay.
So no possibility of Josh Nyman? Cause he
I
just
don't.
he just got off he just got off the pup list, just got his helmet.
Yeah.
So we know we got 2 weeks before the regular season starts. So he has the opportunity to get in game shape and be ready to play that swing tackle position. No?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I think it's going to be come between him and kind of taking Rame, and so I don't know. You guys probably know the ins and outs of it a little bit better than I do, based off of kind of what
Okay.
I've seen. Not being like a super X's and O's guy. I'm going to go for more on the conservative side when it comes to the offensive line and take whoever we feel like is necessary to, protect Bryce as much as possible. I think for me, part of that has to do with where Christensen ends up. If we have to plug him in somewhere, is there another hole that we need to fill that we don't have as much flexibility in?
Okay.
Okay. All right, Dave, on you, man. What you got?
Christensen safe. Zavala is safe.
Hmm.
Ninjaman safe.
What's his name, Dave?
Ninesman. I can't. Yo, man, I'm terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, Josh. How about that?
yeah, yeah,
And
Don't worry, Dave. We bad too, buddy.
I'm terrible,
yeah.
bro. Like I wanna like I'm assuming Maze is probably gonna get IR, so or maybe on the pup,
Mm,
Mm,
but because
mm,
he's hurt right now, right? He's hurt if I
yeah.
recall.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, Maze would be the last one, but I'm gonna get the last slot to Lee.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else want? Go ahead, Doug.
I already know Dave is gonna probably never talk to me. Me and him had this conversation when we were at joint practice. As much as I love my Aggies, Ricky Lee needs to be on the practice squad. He does not need to make it on the 53-man roster. I will put Josh Nyman before him, and then Christensen, Zavala, and then I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna go with Anderson. Anderson's really, with him coming in for the playbook that he's
Okay.
able to adapt, for him to actually understand. Um, he showed more than some of these players that are reserves. I know a lot of people want Chandler Zavala to be cut. I've been saying Chandler Zavala is like a different player than he did underneath James Campen and underneath a different scheme. Whenever Damien Lewis has not been able to play, Chandler Zavala has done a pretty good job, better than average. But
Right.
and then I'll put a wild card out there. Andrew Ram will probably make the 53-man roster just in case if something does happen with him.
Wow.
It's interesting. Like I know we went back and forth with this at training camp, but man, I could see the lead not making the team. I can. I can legitimately see it because I think when you bring Yash in, that makes that a legitimate threat that he might not make the roster, and he could definitely potentially clear waivers. His camp has been up and down. He's had moments, but during games he actually had a decent game from a PFF standpoint, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Like you don't bring these players in thinking that you're going to be safe. So
like I said, Tony, it was hard for me to say that even though I love my Aggies, I'm like, I just don't see Ricky Levis making the roster, man.
It's a numbers game, man.
Yeah.
New regime, numbers game. That's what it ultimately boils down to for me.
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead, Ben.
Okay. Yeah, I have 9 guys making it, and I feel pretty confident about these 9. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're all locks, but I think most of them are. Obviously, the top 5 guys there. But then I think Nijman, however the hell you say it, I think he's a lock.
I'm not
yeah,
alone.
he's a lock. Zavala, even though I was very worried about him going into this training camp. He's done some good things. Dave Canales has shouted him out specifically in his last couple of press conferences, so it tells me that he's probably making the team. And then you have who else? Jack Anderson too. I think that was Doug that mentioned him. He came in. We literally signed him, and 2 days after we signed him, he played in the 2 preseason game, and he was fantastic. And then they immediately signed him to a 1-year deal worth like $1.05 million or something like that. So I've got Corbett, Anderson, Christensen, Hunt, Lewis, Zavala, Iquanu, and Moten, and then Nijman.
Nijman.
Yeah, it's Nijman. It's Nijman. Yash Nijman.
Those are my 9. Those are my 9.
All right, Ryan, who you got?
So I'm mostly with Ben here. My only question is, what is the? I've got 9 too, but I could easily see. Well, here's my question for everybody: who is playing backup center right now on the depth chart? If Corbett were to go down week 1, who is our starting center? That's my question because I can see.
Depth chart is Christensen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was going to say. I think it's Christensen. And so for that reason, I think I've got 9 as well. And Andrew Raym would be practice squad material. Though someone said it earlier, I could see him making the 53 if they really want to put him as the backup center because he is a drafted center or undrafted center, I should say, but played the position in college, whereas Christensen doesn't have much history there. So, but assuming he does go to the practice squad, I also have Iquanu, Lewis, Corbett, Hunt, Moten, Christensen, Zavala, Nijman, and Anderson.
Okay, Eric. Did you go already, Eric?
Yeah, I went. I was the first one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say, damn, I just felt like the teacher called on me and I wasn't paying attention in the back of class or something. I started sweating a little bit real quick.
Don't worry, man. I do it all the time. Don't feel bad. I was on somebody else's show last week and I forgot the closing quote. So
listen. I don't know if y'all saw the deer in headlights look on my face, but because
I absolutely did.
I'm gonna own it because I was like, shoot, did I totally space?
Yeah. All right. CJ, what you got?
For me, Icky, Lewis, Corbett, Hunt, Moten, Christensen, he can play guard, potentially tackle too, and he was taking reps at center. I think they keep Nijman because he was supposed to come in and be that, that swing tackle for us. They brought him in the offseason. I'm also going to say Andrew Raym makes it, and it's a toss-up between Zavala and Anderson. Either which one of them that gets picked, I'm not going to be upset. If they keep Zavala, they keep Anderson. I think it could go either way with them. Like I said, I know Anderson's only been here, like a game or two, but I like what I saw from him. So those would be my 9.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me get mine real quick, and then I'm gonna ask you guys a question. So, of course, I'll go with the starting 5. Of course, Yash Nijman, I wasn't at training camp, or training camp this year. CJ was, but all the reports that I've heard about Chandler Zavala has been pretty good, if not great. I watched his play last night against the Bills. He looked like the Chandler Zavala that I saw highlights of when he came out of NC State. So if he can get his confidence back and get back on that level, I think that'd be good for him. Brady Christensen, I think they need to find one or two positions for Brady Christensen to concentrate on instead of trying to swing up and down the line. I think because for any player, doesn't matter what position, repetition matters. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to develop that muscle memory, you know, whether if you playing left tackle or left guard, at least you on the left side, not swinging from left tackle to right guard and then playing right tackle. That's completely opposite. So yeah, I go with Nyman, Zavala, Christensen, and I'm gonna just not necessarily that I will choose him, but I was kind of surprised nobody mentioned this guy, Ike Bodiger, down at the bottom left, came from the Indianapolis Colts. Ike Bodiger played pretty good in Indianapolis on that line. I believe it was Jonathan Taylor's rookie season. And I forgot the all pro guard, left guard that Indianapolis has, because Ike Bodiger played right guard, if I'm not mistaken. But how do you guys feel about Ike Bodiger? Then I have one more question too. But how you guys feel about Ike?
No.
Oh,
I
nobody
didn't
feel
even know
that.
he was on the roster until just now. I'm gonna be honest with you.
All I'm gonna say is who?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Who?
Okay, that did not work out how I planned. But all right, cool.
I'm sorry, man.
Hey, nothing. Hey, no problem, no problem. But I do have this question. And y'all, if y'all have watched any of the lives that we've been doing all off season, during training camp, whatever, I have harped on this every opportunity I can. And we want to talk, I want to talk about and find out you guys' thoughts on the center position and Austin Corbett being the starting center. Now, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna give my little spiel, then I give it over to you guys. My only concern about Austin Corbett playing center was simply the fact that he was coming off 2 knee injuries. I know he didn't play center at all in the NFL. He played the preseason 1 year with the Rams. I think that was like 2019. But other than that, he's never played center in a regular season game in the NFL or college. He was a 3-year starter at left tackle in college. Now you have the backup center on the depth chart, Brady Christensen. Same thing, has never played center in a regular season game in the NFL, and he was a 3-year starter at left tackle at BYU. So my thing was, if you want to get the best out of Bryce Young and you want to see that he's able to step up in the pocket and either he gonna deliver the ball and have a lane that he can run through or whatnot. You don't want to see the center of that line collapse. And because we have never seen either one of these guys play that position, how confident are y'all in Austin Corbett and Brady Christensen being number one, number two on the depth chart? Anybody can chime in.
I don't have an. If the coaching staff has enough faith in Grady Christian playing the center position, I don't have a problem with it. Like I don't think I'm not going to have an issue with it. I mean, because I think ultimately I think the best case scenario is to have Cade Mays at the backup because Cade Mays can play all 5 positions, right? But right now if
Facts.
he's hurt, we ain't got a luxury. So I don't have an issue with it.
I'll go. It makes me a little bit nervous. I mean, I like Austin Corbett as a player, and I think he's smart. I think he's a good communicator, which you need to be at the center position. I was in the camp of like, I was pretty disappointed that we didn't draft a center when we had the opportunity to. I'm happy with Jonathan Brooks. I can't wait to see him on the field. I'm not saying that was a bad pick, but we had opportunities to get guys like Zach Frazier or what's the dude from Georgia, Van Pran, Jackson Powers Johnson. Like we had opportunities to get guys like that, and we decided not to. So now, in saying that, the coaches obviously have confidence in Corbett, so I'm rolling with it. Obviously, we have to. But I can't lie. Like I'm a little nervous about not only his injury history the last couple of years, but also just his lack of experience playing the position. But I do think that he's a great player on his own, and I think in between, Robert Hunt and Damien Lewis, that trio could be pretty nasty if they can all stay healthy. So I'm excited to see what he does.
Okay. All right. Doug, what you got? What you got?
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I think one thing, like you guys already know, I've always said about the whole thing about the center position. I was able to see Austin Corbett. He didn't play yesterday. Rhyme did look good with the ones, even though people say, we didn't go against the Bill starters. That's preference. I really feel like, but for him being a rookie, going along with the ones out there protecting Bryce, that really means that the coaching staff really trusts in him to actually possibly make this roster, even if that's practice squad or again that's on the 53-man roster. Um, like I said with Chandler Zavala, Christensen, I think Zavala again. I think coaching and scheme means something. One thing that I think with Frank Wright, who was Chandler Zavala's coach, his playing style and scheme just didn't fit his strength. One thing that I know we're talking about 53-man roster, but I really haven't heard Panther Nation really criticize and ridicule Ike Ikwanu. One thing that I tell everybody, Icky looked good. If you go back, I mean, there's not all 22 out from yesterday, but when you look at it, our offensive line gave him time. A lot of people said when Bryce Young gets time, he looks like a different quarterback. Icky Ikwanu, as much pressures as he gave up when he was able to play, what he was able to do. That's no slider Ricky Lee. That's one thing I saw. As soon as he was there, it's plenty of pressures being being given up. But with Yash Nyman being healthy, that's the good thing about it now because he is a veteran. He has starts. Ricky Lee hasn't really started in a regular season game. I'll say that. So, like I said, for me, you have to look at versatility. That's the biggest word with us all talking right now. Who can bring the most versatility if somebody goes down? Can they play two positions on this line?
Okay. All right. Ron, what you got?
I agree with pretty much everything that's been said. I think Corbett is a serviceable option at center. We have to kind of what Ben said. We kind of have to trust. We have to roll with it. We got to. And then Christensen, I feel like whether it's him or whether it's Andrew Rain, whoever it is, the backup, I am a little nervous. I'm not going to lie, but at the end of the day, we have to roll with it. And there are definitely worse options than Corbett. He has experience on the line. I realize center is a different position, obviously, than guard or tackle, but he's a good player, and we've got to roll with it.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Eric? No.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna echo kind of what Ben did, so I didn't want to jump in and just say the exact same thing. But I think it's important to recognize we did intentionally not draft one of the top couple centers in the draft when we had the opportunity. So that's telling me that Canales, Dan Morgan, like they believe that we already have the puzzle pieces already there. Because if not, that is one of the first things that they would want to fix.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I mean, I can see that that avenue as well. I guess for me, my only thing is this is Austin Corbett's last year on his contract, right? We pay him $9 million per year. So even if you drafted a center, whether it was the first, second, third, or fourth round, there were still legitimate, good quality type centers that we could have drafted. And even if he didn't start this year, you got him for next year. He's still on his rookie deal. So now Corbett, this is like I said, this is the last year of his contract. So when you talking about saving money, as far as the cap, the salary cap, that's 9 million off the books, and now you got a rookie that's still on his deal that's making a whole hell of a lot less than what Austin Corbett is making this year. Then you still have the potential to have him for the next 4 or 5 years, or even further. So that was my only thing about it, besides the injuries. Now, if it wasn't for the injuries, I wouldn't even be having these conversations. You know what I'm saying? But the injury, more than anything, scares me with Austin Corbett. Torn ACL, came back. To me, I think they kind of rushed him. He played 5 games, looked the shell of himself. Then he sprains his MCL. They shut him down for the remaining 5 games of the season. So now you coming back from that sprained MCL. Now they say, "Oh, Austin Cole, we need you to go from right guard to center." So all that to me played a part in that equation. All right.